We are anchored off Bequia, an island best known for its long whaling tradition. To this day, a small number of whales may still be hunted under strict regulations, making Bequia one of the few places in the world where traditional whaling is still legally practiced. It's a centuries-old exception that continues to spark debate. For many visitors, Bequia is therefore more than just another Caribbean island. It also tells the story of how difficult it can be to balance cultural traditions with nature conservation. For us, though, Bequia is simply another anchorage.
Und ich hoffe, wir enden nie ab bei der Schiffstelle.
And I really hope we never end up like that boat over there that's run
Der
aground.
ganze Mast ist einfach weit oder.
The mast came down and completely sliced through the hull. It looks so bad. Yeah. I really hope something like that never happens to us. Whenever I see something like this, I always wish I knew what happened, what the story behind it is.
Aber wir werden es nicht wissen.
But I guess we'll never know.
Das Schiff nicht gesehen hat im Hafen, es ist ein Holzboot.
And by the way, there's also the coolest boat I've ever seen anchored here. A wooden ketch that looks like it came straight out of a pirate movie. So cool. And up there, that's Peggy's Rock. We hiked up there in the last episode. During our Atlantic crossing to Brazil, we spent days sailing through huge rafts of this seaweed. Most of it is sargassum, a type of brown seaweed that doesn't grow on the seabed. Instead, it spends its entire life drifting across the open Atlantic. Winds and ocean currents carry it thousands of kilometers until it eventually washes up on a Caribbean shore. Just like it does here. I think one of the best things about living on a boat is that you actually have time to just sit down for a bit and enjoy the place you're in. Right now, we're sitting beneath a manganiel tree. It looks like an ordinary apple tree, but it's actually one of the most poisonous trees in the world. As long as it doesn't rain, we are perfectly safe here. But if it does, you definitely don't want to be standing underneath it. The rain can wash the tree's toxic sap onto your skin and cause painful burns. So, fingers crossed, it stays dry. because this is a pretty nice place to watch the sunset. Fühlt sich so gut an. Es ist so geil. Bis jetzt die niceste Fahrt ever. Wir haben keine Wellen quasi. Mega wenig Wind. Wir haben alles. Ja, das groß nicht ganz, aber wir haben alles draussen. As soon as we leave the shelter of the bay, the wind comes back. Not much. Just 7 to 9 knots. But enough. We set all the sails and Mohair glides through the almost glassy water at a little over 4 knots. No waves, no noise, except for the gentle sound of water breaking at the bow. Before continuing north, we make one small detour, Valilabu Bay. Most people probably don't recognize the name, but they will almost certainly recognize the place. Jetzt bei der Filmkulisse von Pirates of the Caribbean. Parts of Pirates of the Caribbean were filmed right here. In the early 2000s, the filmmakers were looking for a bay that still looked like an 18th century Caribbean port. And they found exactly what they were looking for. We slowly make our way into the bay. I spot old wood piers, weathered facades, a few crooked buildings. Everything feels both real and unreal at the same time. Some of the movie sets were left behind after filming and have been slowly weathering ever since, exposed to nature, salt air and tropical rain. We do a slow lap around the bay and then continue north.
Matey, raise the sail!
We drop anchor off Chateau Bel Air, a small fishing village tucked between the mountains and the sea. St. Vincent is actually a relatively young volcanic island. Its mountains, deep valleys and dramatic cliffs were shaped by countless eruptions over hundreds of thousands of years. Even today, the La Soufrière volcano dominates the island's northern landscape, a reminder that this island is still very much alive. There is something about St. Vincent that feels wild and untamed, and I think that's exactly why I like it so much.
es ist mega ruhig. Und lustig, wir sind genau über dem Anker, es ist 10 Meter tief.
And how funny is this? We are right above our anchor. It's 10 meter deep and we can still see all the way to the bottom. The water is unbelievably clear. And there are just so many bright starfish down there. Proper perfect starfish. Looking down, it almost reminds me of those glow-in-the-dark stars I had as kid. The ones you'd stick to your bedroom wall or ceiling and they would glow at night. It looks like a sky full of glowing stars. I was just up at the bow, and there are our baby squid. They're so cute, tiny little black ones. They're completely black with a bright green stripe running along their bodies and glowing green eyes. After one day on the boat, every step on land feels a little strange. It's almost as if your body has to remember that ground isn't moving.
Weg zum Wasserfall.
The road slowly climbs uphill. Everything smells of earth, wet leaves and plants. Above us, tree ferns, giant philodendrons and heliconias with their bright red flowers. St. Vincent is one of the greenest islands in the Lesser Antilles. The trade winds get trapped by the mountains, bringing rain almost every day.
Oh, schön. Aber auch heiß. Schweißlapfen so. Wir sind den ganzen Tag nass, entweder vom Wasser oder vom Schwitz.
So the rainforest just keeps growing. It feels like there isn't a single inch of free space.
Du hörst das Wasser.
Then we hear it, before we even see it, the waterfall.
Ist ein bisschen wackelig. Ist ein bisschen wackelig und ein bisschen rutschig. Ich laufe gerade so gestabig wie in der Wohnung.
and suddenly we are standing in front of a second waterfall. Just us and the water, cascading down from high above. We take off our sweaty t-shirts and jump in. It's cold, so cold that for a brief moment it takes your breath away. Afterwards, we sit down on a warm rock and let the sun dry our skin. A few years ago, I probably would have said that I wanted to sail around the world for the beaches, the turquoise water, or the palm trees. Today, I would give a different answer. For me, freedom is no longer about the place. It's about having the time to really look around, not feeling like you have to make the most of every free minute. Just living one day at a time, knowing that today, time isn't running away from you.